Here we are, just a few steps away from the hickory tree, and we're looking at another type of oak. This is a red oak. There are a variety of number of species in what's called the red oak group, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth, and it's a little bit more of an explanation on your tree list in terms of the comparing and contrasting the white oak group and the red oak group. The white oak group is pretty small here in the Northeast, and it's mostly white oak and chestnut oak. In back of us there's a white oak. Again, you can tell has kind of that gray bark, white to gray bark on the mature tree. The red oaks have a darker bark that's broken up into these long vertical ridges. And so bark characteristics are one of the things we'll be looking at to distinguish among species. And the red and the white oaks have a number of different characteristics that you can find on that tree list. Here's another white pine right in front of us. Between this white oak and this white pine, so the white oak on the right, white pine on the left, in between is a smaller diameter tree. That's a red maple. It's already starting to turn color a little bit, so we'll walk towards that. Red maples are one of the most common deciduous trees in our eastern forests. They grow in a variety of sites. So as we will talk about when we describe natural communities, some species of tree or plant are indicative of certain site characteristics. They prefer acidic soils or moist soils, or southern aspects or northern aspects. Red maples will grow almost everywhere. You'll find them in swamps, you'll find them on dry ridge tops, and every place in between. So red maples are not really indicative of any type of site characteristic. They're just fairly common across our landscape. They're a simple leaf. I'm going to walk up underneath one. They have serrated margins, so coarsely toothed margins. And if you remember or if you're looking at the tree list, maples are in the group that are opposite branched. So if we look up, we should see the branches coming off the main stem in pairs. Now, it doesn't happen everywhere because branches do break off, but when you do find paired branches like these that are directly opposing each other or opposite, then you know it is an opposite branch tree. Right? You see right below it is one that's missing its pair, but there's an opposite pair, there's an opposite pair. That's a key characteristic that I will repeat many times this semester, and it's usually the first thing I look at when I'm looking at deciduous trees.